Warning. The following content contains spoilers of Persona 5 story. Also, I need to mention, the following video contains some spoiler content for Bleach's story as well. You have been warned.
Ryan, get your white ass over here and finish me off.
Hold up, I got itch to smash. Enjoy the video.
Every time I come around, I be one that whoop they whoop, blase blind. He said, she say, oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. How y'all doing, JCs? It's your boy Josh. You heard that clap? That clap did a waveform on my joint, bruh. You guys see it? Long waited and most talked about during my Persona 5 experience, the Persona 5 review. I would say like the most well edited review I've probably done on the channel, which is Valhalla. So if you guys want to see that, bruh. Links in the description, you feel me? I don't know even where to start. This video might be long, might be short, I don't know, but I got a lot to say. So if you guys were watching the Persona 5 review, you guys would know that like I kept on like nearing the end of the series, or even midway of the series, especially beginning this year, starting it this year in June or July, and then not, you know, when I started it, man, I was young, bruh. I was literally 19 and I turned 20 and then bruh. Anyway, but either way, like when I started, I was so naive to it. I didn't think it was gonna be as RPG as I thought it was. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more story based, just knowing how you know, Japanese games go. So I was thinking, I don't have to waste my time, but I wasted a lot of time and during the Kamoshida route, so it kind of put me on a slow start. So it kind of ruined some parts nearing the end of my Persona 5 experience. So I guess the first thing we're gonna tackle is style and art. What I will say, like, if the game has anything that's really strong in, is the style and art. I really love the style and art. It really makes me feel like I'm in the world of Persona, because a lot of people don't see this, but like, you know, sometimes when you're opening a new program, let's say you're starting to edit, you're a new YouTuber and you're editing in Premiere Pro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the UI is what's really gonna put you first impressions. That's what the thing is. The styled art give me a good first impressions of the game. It gave me high expectations just because of how creative and unique it is. It looks so flawless. It is probably one of the most diverse UI for a game at RPG I've seen in a minute. So I will give them that. The styled art is beautiful. All right. So yeah. Styled art, you got it, baby. Styled art, easy 10 out of 10 in that category. Just flat out, get it out the way, chief. So next, I didn't really chronologically, you know, organized each section of my review. So if I go jump back to points from the other categories, it's just because I'm unorganized. Okay, you see that? You see the hairline? You see the? So next we got music / palace themes rankings. So basically the music of the palace themes, basically I'm ranking each of the palace themes. So me personally, the music is probably the style and art in the music is probably the strong points of this game that really got me, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like any game that has good music and style and art, they get a buff, just like a certified buff from me when I'm playing it, because that just it captivates me. It gets me in the game. It really sets the vibe, because music is such a weird, like a dynamic form of art, you know what I'm saying? So mix that with the visual arts and then the musical art, it's like, bruh. So it really got me enhanced. So y'all will see, like I spent like just certain parts of the video where I'll just start dancing to the music. No. Shout out to the composer Shoji, here you go. But nah, like just being serious, it's just amazing. So these are my personal top 5 rankings. I think top 6, top 5 rankings. First, we don't name the king first, you feel me? We name the peasants first. So we got on 5th place, we got Kanashiro's palace theme. I just thought that thing blew. It was like, it's like a unique acquired taste, because like a lot of people, if I were to say like, hey bro, top 5 Kanashiro theme, like they niggas would be like, explain yourself, nigga. You know what I'm saying? They got at least got class to let me explain myself. So that's the reason why. It's just mainly because I don't know, I liked it because there's 2 versions of it. There's the first part, the version when you're just going through the palace and you're playing it, and then they got the second version where it's like when you get to the latter half of the palace, it kind of like it does a little bit switch up, like it's a little bit rendition of that. So I personally like that. Next is Shido's, Shido's is actually pretty interesting how it plays out, because it's first sounded off like it was gonna be some like rock and roll heavy metal, but then it kind of like transitioned into like this nice beautiful soundings, you know, the style of Persona music anyway. So yeah, I like Shido's. I like Shido's. So I would say that takes my 4th spot. So then the 3rd spot is Futaba's. Futaba's was really nice too. I like hers. Really got like ooh. And Madarame's was the one where it really opened my eyes. I was like, damn, like this sounds like this good. So most people probably wouldn't put it in their 2nd, but I just personally like the style. And you know, they kind of like took the Japanese style and switched it into the Persona style. I keep saying style a lot because that's just what it is, the style of the sauce. And then obviously the palace winner is Sai Nijima's. Come on, bro. I just played it. Come on, bro. So yeah, those are my top 5 as far as palace themes and rankings go. So while we talking about palaces and while we talk about rankings, let's talk about the palace rankings. So let me make this clear, guys. I don't think any palace that really made me overly enjoy it, like maybe really like, oh snap, this palace was good in the bed. Like all these palaces were like, you know, the same, you know, to me, because you know how Persona does their palaces and how you play through them. It just felt the same to me. None of them really struck me out as like, you know, this is my favorite. This is my, oh, I love this part of the game. Like they're all like, okay, cool. You know, this is the RPG aspect, the RPG side of the, none of them really like, I guess, threw me out for a loop, like whoa. Like, but if I had to pick some that like really like that I personally enjoyed the most, is Shido's is probably the first one, which is the 2nd to last palace of the game. His was really interesting. I like the whole like rat form part where there'll be certain areas in the game where you turn into a rat, you automatically just can't, or a mouse, either way, you're 6'9" in it, and you out here, you just in the gray areas parts. So it's like puzzles. So they like to do puzzles and a mixture of with like fighting boss enemies, you know, ranging from blue enemies, yellow enemies to red enemies. So it's very a fun challenge. They kind of like, I don't know, Persona sometimes like to drag things out a bit. That's my main problem with these palaces. Sometimes I would get confused to a point where it's like, feel like maybe I need to go back to the previous area to go see if I missed something, because there's so many puzzles and stuff, and I didn't figure out the puzzle at first. So I'm thinking maybe I need to go back. Well, every time you leave an area, the whole place resets. So if you killed a bunch of enemies and you on hard mode, you're like, man, I felt good about that. And you get your ass back over there, like, I didn't fight it. Then you go back, then you gotta deal with all of the niggas again. I'm not cash money about that. So that's like the annoying thing about these palaces, but we'll get into that RPG aspect later, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Shido's was probably the most fun for me personally. Next was Okumura's, and it's mainly because of the puzzles. Like the puzzles I thought was pretty witty. Okumura's part where like you're at like near the treasure area, and like before you get to that area you gotta like figure out this, like you got the Amda sign, I think it's called Amda, and then you got the Omega sign, and then you gotta like figure out, unlock this portal. So it's kind of like a Portal inspired, if you guys play that game, where you go through these the space portals and you gotta like unlock it, or I think it's Portal inspired, I might be wrong, but you gotta go through these spaces and you gotta figure it out and unlock. Like, I thought it was pretty interesting. The last puzzle, like there's like 3 sets, and the last set was pretty hard, not gonna cap, but it was interesting. I figured it out. So I would say that was probably the reason why I really enjoyed it. And my third favorite was Kanashiro's, mainly because it was like, I don't know, I mean, it was just straightforward. Like if you had to like really like tell somebody like this is how a typical Persona palace will be, you could play that. Plus I think it's the shortest palace of the game, because I remember getting to Kanashiro really quick. So but yeah, it was somewhat interesting how they did it. I like the boss battles. So yeah, the boss battles, we're about to actually get into the rank in the next section category, you know, of this review, but I gotta talk about the least favorite palace, which is Futaba's. If you guys watched the video, I spent all the way to 2 a.m. trying to beat Futaba in one like sitting, and I thought I was gonna do it, but nah, Nah. So one thing I've noticed that if you try to rush the game or rush to like finish a palace, you're gonna go through some, you know, barriers, like hard barriers. There's gonna be a lot of hard enemies. There's gonna be a lot of like bullcrap puzzles, and there's gonna be, you know, and my main problem is like the SP is like you only have so much. So it's like I cannot just, you know, go through these because they be having areas where it's like filled to the brim with enemies and the map is big as shit for this one area. Then the next map is big as shit for one area. And then when you finally get to the last one is also 2 times big as shit, but then they're gonna have a save point at the end of it. So you gotta go through that with your low SP head ass. That is the one thing I don't like. So I found Futaba was a little bit more harder because there was not a lot of save points like where it was like noticeably where you could go. And if you wanted to go to the save point, you would have to go to the previous one. And again, you can't, like, while you're in combat, you can't teleport, you can't do any of that stuff. So you have to like go all the way back, not only fight all the enemies that you went through, you gotta go all the way back just to save. So it's like, what's the whole point? You might as well just keep pushing it until you get to the next save point. But I just felt like the save points were not really there in Futaba's palace like that, and that's what made it hard. And I was running out of SP. It was just not a fun cash money experience, but it's mainly based off the experience. But if you just took your time with it and not try to rush it like me, it would have been a, you know, a decent palace. So I mean, that's why I'm ranking it as my least favorite palace to play, to be honest. Which brings me to my next category, which is palace boss rankings. So yeah, again, like I'm gonna be real, like the palaces didn't really, I mean, playing the part of like the actual RPG part of the game where you're actually going out and fighting the enemies and getting loot and all this other stuff, it was somewhat interesting. I didn't hate it, but it was somewhat fairly interesting. It had the basic mechanics of an RPG game, or a JRPG game, so which is Japanese role-playing game. Usually they have this like turn-based system in JRPG games, and so it was very like basic, but you know, I like their twisted take on it. That's definitely for sure. But if I had to really like, I don't know, again, like these palaces didn't really like,
Oh my god, this palace was fun as f. Like,
I've never had that experience with the Persona Palace, if I gotta be honest. All of them were like, okay, you know, this is pretty cool, you know, okay, there was some cool moments. But if I had to like really rank one, so Sign Nijimas was probably my favorite one because I think it was the most easiest one. Yeah, I get it. It's easy, blah, blah, blah. It was just more randomized. You didn't really know what you were gonna pick. So I thought that kind of aspect was kind of cool, instead of just like, oh, you gotta have this certain persona, you gotta have this certain attack on this certain persona, you gotta have Murakunda, or you know what I'm saying, like you just literally just had a like card based game. You pick red card or the black card, and you just had to guess, and hopefully you'll get it. So I thought that was pretty interesting and a different take on the Persona palaces. So as far as like style, I guess stylistically, like I would say the best palace will probably be like either Madarame's or Kanashiro's, or no, Okumura's. Yeah, because they just kind of went with the concept of what they're doing with Okumura's was like the henchmen. Okay, the part-time henchmen. Okay, so you got the first wave of henchmen, the second wave, you know, so it ranked up an employee list, you know, because that's like Okumura's thing. He has a business, a CEO, they're employees, you know, but he treats them like toys. So I thought that was pretty interesting on that concept. My second one was probably Kanashiro's. Again, not really that tough or difficult, but it was just like, you know, it was the least annoying one, so I'll put it up there. But it was, I mean, it was somewhat interesting what they were doing with it, but I felt like they could have done a little bit more, because again, that was like probably like the easiest palaces were probably Sei Nijima's, palace bosses are probably Sei Nijima's and like Kanashiro's, to be honest, because that junk was just like, dang, this is it. Then my third favorite one was Shido's, and mainly because it was actually more like, I guess, coded well for like really what you would expect from a you know, a Persona or typical Persona boss battle, or even a RPG game in general. I thought it was pretty interesting how they did it, where you know, you got to take down the booty line, bruh. The booty line, I did not realize that, but if you look at his freaking booty line, bruh, that you look close, it's a bunch of human butts. Hello, they literally dead ass got a. And then another thing that's sus about Atlas, I don't know if they did this intentionally, but they got the dick horsemen, bro. What is going on, Atlas? Take down the booty line, then you gotta take down the pyramid, and then after that you take down Shido, and then you think you took him down, but then he goes angry mode. And I like how it's like, okay, once you figured him out, so you had like 3 turns before he did charge up. And the thing usually with the charge up, when like boss battles do charge up, they'll give you like that round for you to block, and then you go attack. Give you a chance to block, because when they charge up, they're about to do a heavy skill attack, right? Potentially if you want to block and defend yourself, and make sure you do it. What this one was, instead of doing that, as soon as he charged up, he's about to attack. He's about to hit you right then and there, and you should have, like, you know, figured it out. So I thought that was an interesting twist. Although, you know, if you watch my gameplay, I'm like, this nigga capping right now. I mean, I'm just saying shit because I'm playing it, but logically speaking, like, the boss battle was really not that hard or not that, you know, annoying to deal with. Yeah, all in all, it was pretty interesting, and the battle music was actually pretty fire. It was kind of like, get ready, pick up your arms. And so like that was the vibe and the theme that was giving me. I really like the boss battle theme for Shido, so I thought that was really cool. So that was what really won me over, is the music. I told you in the beginning, nigga. So the next category, characters. So this is kind of, I'm gonna be divulging a little bit within other categories of this review. Some of these characters really didn't impact me that much, mainly because of the story. As crazy what I'm about to say is right now, like as crazy as what I'm about to say, the story needed to be a little longer for me to really develop like these attachments to these characters, because realistically, like I'm playing an RPG game. Majority of what I'm doing, I'm focusing and wasting my hours and time in palaces. I'm doing RPG shit. We're not really like too focused on the story. This is not a damn, you know, anime, which I heard the animation is trash. I just felt like some of these characters came in the game and then they automatically act like we're gonna feel some type of way with the character. Like, look, you down bad, but I don't give a fuck about you, bro. Like, you ain't family, bro. If I had to put anyone in the family out of all these characters, will probably be Joker, Ryuji, and maybe On. Honestly, On, yeah. Man, like Morgana, bro. In the beginning of my series, if y'all saw, like, I was liking Morgana because he was reasonable, but then he started being a bitch to me, and I don't like that. You know what they do in China, my nigga. All right, better calm your ass down. I got some hitters in China, you feel me? But I don't know, like going back to what I was saying, some of these characters don't hit. Like Haru, for example. She comes in, she is the daughter of the CEO, the Big Bang Burger company, and you know, she gets treated like crap from him, and she's like, you know, little Miss Princess, and you know, it's like, okay, you know, I feel you, but my nigga, you got all the money in the world. Like I was even saying in the video, like, bro, like you got a credit card, like what? Like, you got all this shit. Like, what is he gonna do if you go against him? Take away your credit card? Like, my nigga, you good, bro. Like, stop capping. But I did like her personality. She seemed very nice. You know what we do with nice niggas. I don't know. It's just like, okay, that happened. I felt like her character just came in so quickly. Same with, I would say, Yusuke, but like, it's just like, we go in, we get a new character, and it's out. I can understand with some of these characters where they kind of be dragged in. I don't know. I just felt like I needed more build up between these characters. Favorite characters, first is Joker. I personally liked his character, even though he didn't talk as much. You know, we were playing him. I just felt like out of his dialogue options, they made him seem more of the reserved, calm, and more intellectual leader type. So that in itself, I kind of vibe with. Ryuji's probably my second favorite character. Just realizing, even though he kind of got the whole squad in trouble so many times, he still was like just straight to the point, cut all this bull crap. He was about that action. I need some hitters, and you know, I actually kind of felt some type of way when, you know, when we finally defeated Shido's ship and everyone thought he was gonna die, and when it blew up, I kind of felt some type of way of like, damn, like Ryuji really gone, you know, like, but I would have felt some type of way, but I knew in back of my head the nigga ain't dead. They ain't gonna kill nobody off. Third is actually Futaba. Not because, I mean, again, I kind of feel for her story, and I felt like she was also the more reasonable person, like the one that I fuck with the most, like, because all these characters just be talking. Shut up, bro. Like, just get straight to the point. And Futaba's just like the same thing with Ryuji, just more level-headed than him. Like, just shut up. Let's just get straight to the point. My fourth favorite character is Akechi. Now, the reason that being said is just because the nigga is smart, and again, just reasonable and about that action. But honestly, like, but I've never really felt for, I guess, his character and what happened at the end of the game. They try to make him seem like at the end of the game, like, oh wow, we're gonna feel bad for Akechi, and I'm like, man, I still don't know you, my nigga. Like, hey, bruh, you got a messed up life, you know. The niggas really made you like light Yagami, bro. Like, it's crazy. But who are you again? Like, nigga, like at the end, just, I don't know, it just threw me off. I'm like, you think I care about you, bro? Like, I don't. And then last two is Hifume and Yoshida, which are more confidant characters. They're not really a part of the main storyline like that, but they definitely were interesting to me. I personally like Yoshida and his like backstory of him, you know, kind of messing up, being a diet politician, and you know, messing up in his past. Now everybody call him no good tour. I forgot his past story, if I'm gonna be real, but I mean, I thought it was interesting that like now he's just trying to like, you know, speak that talk, you know, speak on game. And Hifume, she was pretty cool too. I like her character. She kind of reminds me of me personally. That's the main reason why. She's more shy and, you know, timid and reserved, but like when you really get to know her, she's more, you know, about what she's doing, and you know, her character shows more, especially with shogi. And I feel for her past, like, you know, her mom wants to capitalize off of her, you know, her looks and, you know, being the top shogi player, but she's just like, man, I don't want to be capitalized off her looks, and like she's becoming a model to, you know, mainly to make money to help out the family. She doesn't want to do that. She want to do shogi, but her mom's like, I don't give a fuck what you want to do. So it just reminds me of my personal life and what I go through too as well. And the last but not least, I know y'all want to know who's the best waifu. Drum roll, please. I know you're looking at the titties, boy. Kawakami. If I had a, like, the other ones that were gonna be in, like, I guess second in head is Kawakami and Makoto. Honestly, like, I guess the only thing that really like bumped Kawakami up is because I liked Kawakami's personality more. She had this like lazy, I don't give a fuck vibe, like, you know, so I felt that. I felt that. And then, you know, her storyline was a little bit more relatable. Makoto's was more like, okay, so here's the thing. Makoto's personality is very like dry. I don't know. The reason why I kind of like, I literally had a title said I simp for Makoto, like, come on, bro. Of course she's gonna be the runner-up. The reason why though is because I just like her aggression, especially what she's passionate about. I love that fire that is fueling with her, you know. So like when she came in, she wasn't like these other losers like, oh, I can't do it. She was like, get the fuck off of me. You go pull up Persona, get your like, get your ass over here, nigga. What's up, nigga? What? Like, she was bringing up that Black Force energy, bro. I was like, bruh, I need her on my squad, bro. I don't know, I just love that aggression about her, that side. But when it comes to romance stuff, she's kind of dry, bro. Her personality kind of dry, but I find her interesting. She's also gets straight to the point, smart. Just everything about a queen. Like, I see why they call her queen. So the RPG aspects of the game. The next category. So this shit trash, bro. Mementos. So my problem with Mementos was you'll get it, like if you're going into Mementos and you're part of the story, you'll get ranked up, but when you do it on your own free time and you're just chilling, I did not rank up whatsoever. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's just like a hard mode thing, but that you'll rank up, but I did not rank up at all. Confidants. My main problem with the game is like the time, and I'm divulging in some other stuff because trust me, I got a lot written down, but my problem with the confidants is like there's just not enough time to do all the confidants and max them out, and especially with all these confidants having like potential stuff. Like, I didn't know Futaba had the position hack where you could like instantly do a hold up on an enemy as soon as you hit them. So like I missed that out with it throughout the time I got her, and they try to make it where it's like during the story, certain parts where when you get done with the palace and you got free time, right, they'll throw a entourage, a bootload, a bouquet of freaking confidant missions that you need to do. Oh, hey, can you come with me? Hey, spend 5,000 yen for Kawakami. Hey, Ryuji wants to go kick the raccoons. Hey, I wants to twerk. Like, bro, like, and the thing is, I only have 2 actions out of the whole freaking day to freaking do these confidant. And then sometimes if you miss one confidant in the morning, the confidant won't be there in the afternoon, and they're gonna be a new set of confidants. So I just felt like the confidants could have been trying to max out, giving us more time to do the confidant. But for the most part, some of the confidant stores was interesting. I never really got big to I forgot her name, the future chick. Like, she can help increase your luck and some I don't know, I forgot. It's just stuff like that where it's like I had enough time, I would actually like try to figure out which confidants I need to go and get so it can help me out in battle. I don't know about y'all, but like when you're going in trying to do persona fusions, that junk look confusing, bro. There's so many categories on this. Fusion guillotine, fusion group by search, fusion. Like, what the frick are we doing, bro? This is not coding class. Like, the UI like of that whole area is just so confusing. Like, I wish they could have cleaned it up because there's so many like divisions and stuff. Like, I'm like, bro, like just get one, fuse a persona and then go in that one. All right, pick this, which one. Like, it's just so confusing. Like, there'll be sometimes like the options points, like when you're in like picking option points, like in the dialogue, like the options that they have, the choices to pick, they literally iterate the same. Like, there'll be 3 options and they reiterate. They're literally the same options but paraphrased differently. I'm like, why does it even matter which one I pick? And then sometimes there'll be different ones, but then if you picked one character's gonna be like, really, that's all you could do? Like, there's sometimes where like they'll be waiting on Joker to say something cool and I just be like, yeah, don't leave it to me. And they'll be like, oh, you should have done something better than that. I'm like, all of the other freaking options are trash. What you mean? So those social link stats, I thought it was pretty interesting how they did it. I have to say, anything, if Persona excelled anything it did, it excelled School Simulator 101, because I felt like, you know, the social link stats was pretty accurate for the most part, because you would have to make sure you rank up, because there's certain parts in confidants rankings where like you cannot continue that confidant mission without having knowledge at level 4 or charm at level 3 or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Final exams idea. So I will give one up out of all the critiquing so far. I like the final exam idea. I feel like the annoying thing about like this final exams and studying for it and how they're like, you gotta study for it. Let's say you go to the diner to go study, right? And you don't really actually like learn anything. You just study. You really just rank up your knowledge. What helps you is you Google search the answers and then you get the answer. That's what helps. But I think it would be cool if they had like a section where it says like study. Like, you would actually have to study in real life, so then when the final exam come, they can have like 2 or 3 questions, maybe like 6 questions, and whatever you studied will answer those questions. So I thought that was a good idea that they should have done, instead of you know, making it where it's like you literally have to search it up. One thing I forgot to mention in the review, but you can actually use the network feature to figure out your answers. So I guess studying is kind of worthless, or Google searching it. But what if you have crappy internet like me? Bruh. All right, I'll excuse myself. Dog, I'm gonna tell you this. This is my biggest critique of this game. The time consumption in this game is terrible. First of all, 2 actions out of the day you can use before the day ends, and then you go to the next day. What I mean by 2 actions is that in the morning time, you'll be able to do one thing. And so if you do a confidant thing or whatever, it uses up your turn or your action out of that day. So then it switches to evening, and then you'll only be able to do one thing. Then on top of it, you gotta think about it. First and foremost, this is the dumbest thing. It says take your time on the bottom right corner, but yet I still don't have enough time to even take my own time. So what the freak are you talking about? Take your time. Sorry. Tell me how, when you finish, let's say you do story in the morning and then it's the evening, you cannot go out whatsoever. You'll be locked down and you have to sleep because Morgana with his ugly black ass, oh, aren't you tired? You need to go to sleep. All I did was talk to the homies about the story shit. I'm not tired. Let me go rank up in my confidants. Let me go to mementos. Bruh, I'm about to get into the next palace and you want to waste your time talking about, oh, you're tired. I'm not tired. And I guess the next is like SP attacks. Look, again, to reiterate, like I said it earlier, but the SP attacks, I don't know, they don't need to be 36 for like a simple, like one that we use so much. It should be 36 to something, to like an SP attack that's like gonna hit, you know, like not to like Murakunda or something like that. Like that just kind of pissed me off, bro. I won't even lie, dog. Bro, the next is the action hide. So yeah, basically the action hide thing is trash. I'm sorry. You're able to jump to the next hiding spot and it's cool, but then it's like when you're trying to hit an enemy or turn your camera around, you can't. So you have to back out of the action hide, potentially ruining your spot and getting you caught and getting hit by an enemy. Charms. I think that we should have been able to use 2 charms because there'll be charms where it resists fire and then an enemy with a fire attack hits my G spot and you know, if you're Yusuke and your weakness is fire, it's over for you. So it's like I wish they had it where it's like, because then they're gonna hit your other weak spot, which is this. So it's like I have a charm for that, but I can't use it, and you can't change it mid-battle. So I feel like they could have done something more with the charm. System hints, bruh. I'm sorry, but like they tried to really like rape you with all these system hints. Get that out of my face. Like, I'm not studying this, bro. Like, stop. Like, I just felt like there was too much system hints just popping out of nowhere. Like, it's just confusing, bro. Like, I get it. Like, you want to teach us, but slow it down, bro. Another one was a Kumar boss battle, which the reason why I'm pointing this out is that it pissed me off is that the one time during story, so we send out the calling card and we're about to go fight him the next day, right? The night before we go fight Okumar, bro, they give us the option to make curry or coffee for the one time they do. They don't do this at all until this time, which I thought that was weird. I'm like, why not do this the night before every boss battle? But okay, whatever, who cares? They let us do that, bruh. I make curry, and curry, I think it's like 20 SP to all allies or something like that. So I'm like, cool, you know, if I ever run out of curry, I mean, if I ever need it, I have it. Evidently enough, I needed it when I was fighting Akuma, but guess who couldn't use it? You're telling me the night before, the one time you let us do an action during story, you make us curry or coffee and we can't even use said curry or coffee? I could not use it whatsoever in the boss battle, but it's like, why would you? Safe room placements could be better. Again, it's just that whole problem of me using so much SP. My SP is low for the whole team. When I want to get to a save point, you know what I'm saying? I did good numbers. It did not really help me when the safe rooms were just placed so weird. I say what the most annoying safe room placements out of all the palaces was the mementos. The last final palace, bro, it was a bitch. Just like they did 3 waves of level red enemies. My SP is dying on a nigga, but it was just like I went through all of that, and the 3rd room, I'm finally there though, finally at where I could get to a safe room. Tell me how it's all the way over there though, so I gotta go through another wave, bro. And then they have certain action story moments where they'll come in and they'll throw a bunch of enemies at you, and they'll do better safe room placements. So this leads me to the next category of the review. I felt like the character development was very rushed. That's like my main big point. Haru just comes out of nowhere and then boom, now she's a part of the team, and now we supposed to feel for her. Like, the story also just felt surface level, to be honest. Like, it just felt like, oh, okay, you know, that's what we got, you know. It didn't drop me. You know, annoying thing about it is they like to reiterate sometimes the same thing over and over with the dialogue, and it's just too much. Sometimes it's annoying, and I'm like, we get it. Like, they like to go back and forth as if like this is new information. I'm like, bro, like, we get it. Like, I wouldn't say the story is bad. I just felt like it was too surface level for me to really like, whoa, this is crazy. And that bleak where it was like the whole time they knew what Akechi was planning. They knew that Akechi was gonna try to kill Joker, so they planned it out that they will make Akechi think that he's gonna kill him, but he didn't. And the whole time they were inside Nijima's palace interrogation room, so when he shot Joker, he didn't really kill him. He killed him in the persona world. It's like a fake dummy. And they were like, see, we knew this the whole time. We also knew that Akechi said this when only Morgana can hear us talk about it. And the reason why I say Bleach is because Sosuke Aizen, a certain character in Bleach, does this type of shit where he's like, I knew what you were doing when you were born, Ichigo. I don't like that where it's just like they act like they knew this from the beginning type beat, because it's like, explain yourself. How are you this smart, bro? Like, it just felt like it was a last minute, let me throw it on. I'm not saying that's what they did, but it was getting to that point where I'm like, y'all niggas, I know y'all not this smart to be doing all this. So hold up, a quick little intermission, y'all. I'm not trying to waste y'all time and make this video longer. First of all, this review is so like messy, bro. Like, when I did this whole, I think I was like, I don't know, tired halfway through. So I was, you know, obviously I've been saying a lot. I've been saying just sloppy all over the place. So I'm sorry for my negligence. Should have redone the review, but screw it, whatever. We made it this far. but I just want to reiterate and say some couple of things first and foremost. So when I meant, you know, by like, okay, Akechi heard Morgana, that's what I meant. I didn't mean, you know, whatever I said. I know that was confusing right there, so my fault on that. And I don't think the idea of him like hearing Morgana's words earlier on, and if you were like smart enough to catch on, you would have caught on. I honestly just thought the story was too surface level to be doing some like, all right, we got this, and then we put this little thing right here that is the answer to the end of the game, and if you didn't figure it out, then that's your loss. Like I just honestly didn't think the story was that, you know, well written to make me feel like, oh snap, this is really good, like hold up, you know. So I wasn't expecting what they did in the beginning with Akechi figuring out, or you them figuring out that Akechi can hear Morgana basically. But the whole time after they realized that they knew that, but then afterwards they kind of like, they faked their, unless they made it where like, you know what I'm saying, figure out that they knew something about Akechi early on, but they made it seem like Akechi was cool. But the whole time they knew that Akechi heard Morgana when they first met at the TV station. So my confusion was like, why are they now starting to be like, let's get this nigga in our genjutsu? Because it just seemed like all the reactions were just kind of like legitimized, you know what I'm saying? Unless they just did this for us, the viewer, the player, for us to not really figure out that they know something. But I mean, I don't know, it just seemed like all the reactions towards Akechi was like genuine. The build up for all of this just felt, I don't know, just for the character development and all this other stuff, like I felt like it could have been better. That's all I'm trying to say. Last but not least, the ending, you know, like the final boss, Palace, the switch up. I won't lie, the ending was very dragged out. Now, not to say that was boring and was not needed, but you know, after we figured out, okay, there's more to what you can do with killing the treasure of the mementos, you know, embodying everybody, Shadow, their real thoughts and shit like that. I was like, okay, cool, you know. And then when you found out the Igor you knew wasn't really Igor, it was, you know, the god of the mementos or whatever the whole time, and he was faking Joker, and he split apparently, what's her name, the two wardens, the twins, they were split in half, all that other stuff. I mean, I thought it was an interesting concept of how they did that, but it just felt like it happened, you know. There was no real build up for me to really feel some type of way with this. So I'm like, oh damn, I didn't know this was going on. Because number one, I knew like the mementos world was taken over, they couldn't beat the treasure of the mementos, and they like all disappeared because nobody wanted the you know what I'm talking about, the ending where they all like started croaking and dying in the middle of the street. They went to where Igor and them were talking about how we're at. I don't know, it was like, oh, you know, that happened. I don't know, I guess the story build up to that didn't really hit me like that. They really didn't build up to that point because I was not expecting all of that, and the ending was just pretty cliche. The hero saves the day type beat, because I knew at the end, no matter how many losses they were gonna take and how many parts where they're like, it seems like they're losing, I knew they were gonna win anyway. Like, he gets this god persona, and then he has this one final shot bullet and he kills the god of mementos, and it's like, okay, all right, that's cool, nice story, kid. So for the story part of the game, I'm feeling like a 7 out of 10, man. It's just, it is what it is. You pick it up, you pick it up. The story didn't need to be that good for you not to enjoy it. Mainly, again, like I said, you're really just focusing on the RPG. The story is kind of the backbone, so, but if the story was a little bit more better and maybe not like bum rushing you with all this stuff, I think it would have held its weight, definitely. So, will I play it again? My answer is probably yeah, but I probably have to play Royale because I heard Royale is, I guess, better. Ending is completely different with Royale, so I'm wondering on how that works. Also wondering on the new character and the new shit that you do. I'll probably play it again to really like see the other confidant routes. I want to see like how on, if I maxed out her. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for me, guys. I really still did enjoy the game for what it's worth. Overall, it's just an 8 out of 10 for me. I really did enjoy the game. I had my moments, my times with this game. It was a real, like, those games where I could sit back, play, and not really like stress too much about it. So for what it's worth, I still had fun in the palaces. It was still interesting ranking up confidants and doing social stat link stuff. Overall, y'all, appreciate y'all for watching this video. I know I'm gonna have a pain editing this video, and I don't even know how long this video is gonna be, but if you guys stayed, Appreciate you. The next Persona game, I want to play Persona 3. I don't know if I'm gonna do it anytime soon because I got Cyberpunk and some other games, but I want to start Persona 3 because I've been hearing those games are better than 5 as far as story goes and stuff. So I want to see what they actually had, and I really love the music and the style. So y'all let me know what y'all think, what you guys think about this review. Critique the review, you know what I'm saying. But stay blessed, keep your headspace strong, and just remember, Morgana's black, bro. Invite him to the cookout, I guess. Nah, not really. That nigga fake. Anyway.